What up, what up? It's your man, Jimmy Chan. All right, let's get this started on question number 1. All right, question number 1 gives you 2 points. 5/4, negative 8/5, and 9/4 and 9/5. And it wants you to find the midpoint. Okay, so midpoint is just the average of those 2 points. So we're going to take the x values, add them together, and divide that by 2. Take the y values and add them together and divide that by 2. And that would be my midpoint. Okay, so there we go. So what do I have here? Well, 5/4 plus 9/4 gives me a 14/4 divided by 2. And then negative 8/5 plus 9/5 is 1/5. And take that and divide it by 2. Okay. And 14/4 can reduce to 7/2. All right. So let's think about this. So this is a fraction divided by a fraction. So I would have to copy, change, flip. So think about this. If I was to copy, change, flip, this would be 7/2. Change the division multiplication and flip, so it'd be 1/2. So that would give me 7/4. You see that? All right. So that would give me 7/4. So that means this is now going to be 7/4. Now, here's a key point. The 7/4 was because these two end up being in the denominator and you multiply them together, right? Well, the same thing could be said with this one here. All right? So this is actually going to be 1/10. And that would be your answer, which is choice A. Your choice A. There we go. All right. Number 2. X squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 4y is equal to 3. Oh, lucky you. That number is already on the other side. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put down x squared minus 6y, minus 6x, that is. And then the y squared plus 4y. And this is going to equal to 3. All right? So I got to do completing the squares. So for this one, I got to find a new c, which is equal to negative 6 divided by 2 squared, which is equal to negative 3 squared, which is equal to 9. So I have to add 9 here and add 9 here. Don't forget to do the work. Over on the right, with the y, I got to find a new c as well. That's going to equal to 4 divided by 2 squared, which is equal to 2 squared, which is equal to 4. So I got to add 4 to this side and add 4 to this side. Okay? All right. So, remember how I said do the work. Because change the style here. I think I'd make this orange. And let's make this green. Okay, so the reason why we want to do the work is because when I factor the blue, this is going to be an x minus 3, and the red is going to be y plus 2. And this is going to equal to 3 plus 9, which is 12, plus 4 is 16. Okay? Oh, forgot the squares. Okay? Because the whole purpose of completing the square and to find the new c is so that I can make this perfect factoring happen, right? So here it tells me that my center, don't like that writing. My center is 3, negative 2, and my radius, so 16 is r squared. So if 16 is r squared, that means my radius is actually 4. Okie doke. So that would be my answer. And the answer is choice whoopsies, what did I do? I copied the problem wrong. This is a plus 6x, so this is a plus 6x, so that means I don't have any of this, so this is going to be a plus 3, so that means my center is going to be a negative 3, negative 2. There we go. That is choice A. There we go. Sometimes copying the problem down wrong happens, but you just gotta catch yourself before you say the answer or submitting it. There we go, and there's choice A. Okie dokie. All right, number 3. All right, number 3 says f of x is equal to 3x squared plus 2x minus 2. So it wants to know if this is going to have a maximum or a minimum, and where it is, right? And where the location of it is. Okay, so this is in the form of, so this is still quadratic. Functions. Okay, but this is in the form of f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, now is it different from what you guys had last week, where there was an h and a k, right? So it's partly the same in terms of that the a still determines. If it's positive A, it smiles, which means the vertex is going to be a minimum. And if it's negative A, then it's going to be a frowny face. Ooh, it worked out that way. Nice. Where this is going to be a maximum. Okay? The difference is that the vertex is not going to be h comma k, but the vertex, actually I can't even say the vertex. You have to find the vertex. So I'm not even going to call it the vertex, but you have to find it. But the axis of symmetry is x is equal to negative b over 2a. So the x is the x value of the vertex. So this x right here is the x value of the vertex. Okay? So if I plug that x into the equation, I can find my y value. Bingo. Exactly that. Okay? So let's look at this. So what I see here is that the A is equal to a positive 3. So that means I'm going to be smiling, right? So that means I'm going to have a minimum. So now I know I'm going to have a minimum. So that's going to get rid of 2 of those answers. Okay? However, now I got to find the location of it. What's the coordinate point of this minimum? Okay? So first, I have to find the x value of my vertex. So x is equal to negative b over 2a. Well, it'd be negative 2 over 2 times 3. So that's going to be a negative 2 over 6. So it's going to be negative 1/3. Okay? So that's my x value. All right? So this is equal to x. So in my vertex, which my vertex is a point, so I have negative 1/3, but I don't know what my y value is yet. Okay? All right. So in that case, I still got to find my x. So I can't even say what my vertex is yet. So now I'm going to use that x and plug it back into the equation. So it's going to be 3 times negative 1/3 squared plus 2 times negative 1/3 minus 2. Okay, so what do I have? I got 3 times 1/9 plus 2 times negative 1/3 minus 2. So that is going to give me a 1/3 minus 2/3 minus 2. Which, really speaking, the 2 is actually what? 6/3, right? Because 6 divided by 3 would be 2. So that means my f of negative 1/3 is equal to 1 minus 2 is negative 1 minus 6 is negative 7 over 3, which this is really my y value. So my vertex is going to be negative 1/3, comma, negative 7/3, and it's going to be a minimum, which that is choice I was looking at my spelling for minimum and kind of threw me off. It's going to be A. There you go. All right, so that's number 3. So let's go on to number 4 with 10% battery life. All right, that sheet's done. So number 4 says I have 60 feet of fencing. Right? And enclose a rectangular plot that borders a river. Okay, so there we go. So what's in black right now is my fence, right? And it says if I don't fence the side with the river, find the length and the width of the plot that will maximize area. Okay, so it told me already length and width. So this is the length, this is my width. So that means this is my width. So would you agree with me that that's where the fencing is going to go, right? So my fencing is going to be W plus W plus L is going to equal to 60 feet. Okay? I want to maximize area, so I want to use all the fencing I can use. Okay? So with that being said, that means 2W plus L is equal to 60. All right, so that is one thing I needed so far. Okay, so that's important. I need that. All right, the other thing is that since I'm maximizing area, the area of a rectangle is what? Length times width. I don't know how much the area is, I just want to maximize it. Okay, so nothing else is given. This is all I'm given, right? So this is also important. Okay, so what do I do? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at this as if this was a system of equations. All right, so if it's a system of equations, this is what we're going to do. Number one is that we're maximizing area, not perimeter. Okay, perimeter-wise, we already know how much fencing is going in. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to get L by itself. So L is going to equal to 60 minus 2W. And I'm going to go ahead and plug that in to here. Okay? Actually, I'm just going to do it this way. So now what I'm going to get based on that is that the area is going to equal to 60 minus 2W times W, which tells me my area is going to equal to 60 W minus 2W squared. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. So you're telling me that I can actually rewrite this as A is equal to negative 2W squared plus 60W. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's like a quadratic function, isn't it? All right. So let's just focus on just this piece right here. Okay? What does that tell me? Well, that tells me that since A is negative, I have a frowny face, which is a maximum. And that location of that maximum is what we're actually looking for. Okay? So, let's see here. So this is more of the form of what we just did in the previous problems ago, and not, actually, literally the previous problem, and not the HK type quadratic function. Okay, great. So let's look at it, focus on that, okay? So we want to find that vertex. So to find that vertex, what I need to do is find the axis of symmetry, right? So let's go back to the black ink here. So axis or line of symmetry, okay? So that is x is equal to negative b over 2a. In this case, it's not x anymore, it's actually w, okay? Because in this equation, I have w's, and typically on the other problems I would have would be x's, that's why it'll be x. So this is w because I have w's in there. So that's going to equal to negative 60 over 2 times negative 2, which is going to equal to a positive 15. Okay, check this out. So my W is 15. Question is, what is my L? What is my length? Okay, so again, I got the 15. That is my W. What is my length? Okay, so my length, you already told me, my length is equal to 60 minus 2W. Okay, so does that mean that is going to be 60 minus 2 times 15? 15, right? Which 60 minus 30 is going to equal to 30. So again, that would be my length. So it doesn't ask me what my area is, but I do know that my length is equal to 30 and my width is equal to 15. And that, ladies and gentlemen, would be choice A. Voila. All right, that is number 4. On to number 5. I got plenty of space there, hopefully. All right, so it says that the average value of a certain type of automobile is $13,380 in 1993, depreciated to $4,740 in 1996. Okay, so let's start something here. So 1993, it was $13,380, and at 1996 it was now $4,740. Okay, as I keep on reading, it says let the average value of the automobile in year X, when X is equal to 0, represents 1993. Okay, so it says X is 0 in 1993. So in 1996, it'll be what? 3 years, right? All right. So write a linear equation that models the value of the automobile in terms of year X. Okay, so 0 represents that, right? So that means this is my Y value here, right? And the 1993, 1996 doesn't really represent anything besides that 1993 is 0. So 1996 must be 3 because it's 3 years from 1993. Okay? So how do I write the equation of a line? Well, I need 2 things, right? So to write the equation of a line, I need 2 things, right? I need 1, I need slope. 2, I need what? A point. Or the y-intercept, right? If it's y-intercept, it would be nice and easy. So let's look for the slope. So you guys already know that one of the things I like to do is to take these right here, right? Because these are like points, right? So to find slope, I like to go this, the change in y over the change in x, right? So I have 13,380 minus 4,740 over 0 minus 3. So what does that give me? Well, that gives me 8,640 over a negative 3, which gives me the slope of negative 2,880. My slope is that. Okay? Great. So now I need a point or the y-intercept. Now, I have 2 points here, right? 0, 13,380. Or 3, 4740, right? So here's my question. What is 0? What is this point right here? Let me do it this way. What is this point right here? What is this point right here? So this is 0, 13, 380. What is that point? If you were to plot that point, what would you call it? That's right. It's called a y-intercept. Awesome. So that means the equation of the line would be y is equal to negative 2880 x plus 13,380. Now, if it didn't give me that point, then I would actually have to use a point and actually solve for the y-intercept and then write my equation. But since that gave it to me, I'm very lucky, so therefore I got it. Okay? So there's my answer, and that is choice number D. All right, 2 on to 6. 7% left. And I finish. All right. So on number 6, it wants you to determine the function's equation given the graph. Okay? So let's see here. Okay. Let's do this. All right. So the graph, I see a vertex, and the vertex is where? It is at 2, 2. Okay? And it is also smiling. Right? So that means A has to be positive. Okay? All right. So the thing that I do know is that I'll call it the P of X, because they already use a G, a F, and H, a J in the choices. So I'm just gonna call it P of X. That is equal to A times X minus H squared plus K. All right? Okay. So I know that A has to be positive. All right? And if I go to the points next to them, that'd be, let me look at it. It's going to be 3, 3, and 1, 3. So the other point is 1, 3, then the 2, 2, then the 3, 3. Okay? So those are my points. So notice that what I noticed is that it only went out, to the right one, up one. And the reason why I was saying that is because that's a typical quadratic function, right? It's a typical x squared. So, for example, 0 squared is 0, so I got the point 0, 0. And then 1 squared, which is 1 to the right, squared is still 1, so it would be 1, 1. So I would go from 0, 0 to 1, 1. So I only went over 1, up 1. So if it was any other A's, then that would go different. It will either go wider or taller, but it will change that Y value as I go. So with that being said, and knowing the vertex is 2, 2, then what I have is that my h of x is going to be x minus 2 squared plus 2. Okay? Just based on the vertex, I can see that, right? Because it's got to be x minus h, which is the x value, which is 2, plus the y value, which is 2. And that right there is choice B. And there you go. And the reason why I brought up these points here is because what if those choices weren't there? Okay, so let me just do it this way here, just so that you guys can see, just for the sake of people who are watching the video. So if I have just a typical x squared, right, and I use, let's say, negative 1, 0, 1, which is my typical parabola, this would be 1, 0, and 1. But let's say that I have 2x squared, right? So if I have negative 1, 0, and 1 again, right, then once I square this negative 1, which is 1, then I multiply by 2. Now this is 2, this is 0, and this is going to be 2. So now it not just moved over 1, but it went up 2. So it's not the typical, one square separation. So that's why things would change if the A changed from 1. Okay? Just so you guys know. Oops. Don't want that. Undo. Okay. Delete. All right. So on to number 7. And we guys got questions on that? Bring it up in class. All right. So I got 2 points. 1, 5 and negative 3, 8. And I got to find distance. Well, distance, d squared is equal to the change in x squared plus the change in y squared. Okay, so d squared is equal to 1 minus a negative 3 squared plus 5 minus an 8 squared. Okay, so that tells me that d squared is equal to 4 squared plus a negative 3 squared. Which is equal to 16 plus 9. So if my d squared is equal to 25, that means what? That my d is going to equal to just a regular 5, which is choice B. All right, there we go. 8. All right, with 5% battery left. 8. So it gives me x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 12y plus 28 is equal to 0. So it wants me to pick out the right center and radius. So first thing I gotta do is separate the x's, separate the y's, and bring that 28 over to the other side. So it's going to be negative 28. So I got to find my new c, which is equal to b divided by 2 squared, which is negative 2 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 1 squared, which is 1. So I got to add 1 and add 1. The other c is equal to negative 12 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 6 squared, which is 36. So I got to add 36 here and add 36 there. Okay? So with that being said, the blue is going to factor out to be x minus 1 squared plus the y is going to be y minus 6 squared, and that's going to equal to the negative 28 plus 1, which is negative 27, plus 36, which is going to give you a 9. So my center is going to be 1, 6, and my radius is going to be a 3, which is a choice A. Awesome. Oh. There we go. All right, number 9. Number 9. Third page. All right, so it wants to know which graph is right for f of x is equal to x plus 4 squared minus 1. So I have my vertex, and that's going to be negative 4, negative 1. Okay? And it asked me to use intercepts. So here it is. I got my vertex, intercepts. So let me do the y-intercept. Well, that is when x is equal to 0. So, so I got to find f of 0, and that's going to be 0 plus 4 squared minus 1. So that's going to be 4 squared minus 1. So f of 0 is equal to 15, which gives me the point that this is 0, comma 15. Okay? All right. So now let me find the x-intercept. Well, that is when the y is equal to 0. So I have 0 is equal to x plus 4 squared minus 1. Add the 1 over. So I got 1 is equal to x plus 4 squared. When I take the square root of both sides, I get plus or minus 1 is equal to x plus 4. So that means my x is going to equal to negative 4 plus or minus 1. So I get two answers. One is negative 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. Let's say that. And then negative 4 minus 1, so my x is equal to negative 5. Okay? So that gives me 2 points as well, which is negative 3, 0, and negative 5, 0. All right? So with all of those points there, perfect, and makes sense. So that's going to give me choice C. There we go. And on to number 10. Okay. Number 10. Turn the page. I got 4% left. Oh no. Okay. Number 10 wants you to graph this. The f of x is equal to 2x over x minus 3. Okay. So, number 1. The vertical asymptote. is part of the restriction. So I take the denominator, x minus 3. Since that cannot be 0, that means x cannot be 3. Okay? So, which tells me, so this is the restriction. Okay, which tells me I have a, so x is never going to equal 3, so that means I'm never going to have an x value that's 3. So where x is 3, I'm not going to have anything. Okay, so that means I have a vertical asymptote at x equals 3. So a vertical asymptote, so I have a vertical dotted line at x equals 3. Second, horizontal asymptote. Okay. So, with horizontal asymptote, I'm looking at the highest power on the top and the bottom. Well, the term with the highest power on top is 2x. The term that has the highest power on the bottom is the x. Since the powers are the same, then the horizontal asymptote is the ratio of the two. Which is 2 over 1. So the ratio of its coefficient. Remember, this has a 1 in front, right? All right. So therefore, it's y equals 2. Now I'm going to have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. All right? All right. So sometimes I will cut down to one choice, but sometimes it will cut it down to 2 choices, possibly. All right, but at least I have my vertical asymptote and my horizontal asymptote, right? So this is very important here. Actually, I should probably spread this all the way here. And this is really important here, which I should probably spread all the way over here, okay? So those two are really important. Those are my dotted lines. You know, I can't cross the vertical asymptote, but at the same time with the horizontal asymptote, it can cross the horizontal asymptote, but it can't like keep on crossing it, right? You're going to eventually see it kind of stop touching it, okay? The next thing you should do, because the x cannot be 3, what you should do is make a table getting close to 3 and seeing what happens, okay? So let's say I make a table. Let's do it with this. Okay, here's my x, here's my f of x, or my y, right? So I said that it can't be 3, right? So 3, okay, so that's 3. So let's look at around it, right? What happens to the left of it and what happens to the right of it, right? To the left of it, I got 2, 1, 0. To the right of it, I got 4, 5, and 6, okay? So if I was to do that, then I got 2 times 0 divided by 0 minus 3, and that's going to give me a 0. I got 2 times 1 divided by 1 minus 3. Let's see what I did. Right, so that's 2 over negative 2, so that's negative 1. If I use the 2, I got 2 times 2 over 2 minus 3, so that's a 4 divided by negative 1, so I got negative 4. So it just keeps on going upward, right? So from the left side, from 0 to 3, it's going to go, going to go down towards negative infinity. Okay? And then to the right side of it, if I put in 4, then I got 2 times 4 divided by 4 minus 3. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. Divided by 1 is going to be 8. Then I got 2 times 5 divided by 5 minus 3. So that's 10 divided by 2, which is 5. And then 2 times 6, which is 12, divided by 6 minus 3, which is 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay? So if I came from the larger positive numbers towards 3, right? So like from 10 towards 3 is going to go head towards positive infinity. So that's what it's saying. So let me kind of draw this out a little bit here since I got the space right now. So what I have here is a vertical asymptote at 3. I have a horizontal asymptote at 2. Okay. So if I was to plot these, 0 is 0. 1 is -1. And 2 is -4. Okay. So it's telling me that this graph is going to do something like that. Okay. And if I look at 4, 8, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, and 6, 4, 2, 4. So from here, it's going to look something like this. All right. So that's what it would look like. So that's the reason why we want to plot some points. And looking at that, that is going to be choice B. And there we go. Well, hope that answers all your questions. If you have any questions for me, please ask them in class. See ya.